Wealth Talks podcast, a channel that helps micro, small size business enterprises and individuals achieve financial freedom through these tested, proven methods and strategies of building wealth. Join a resolved, vibrant community of people who want to achieve financial freedom through these doable methods while building their businesses and personal wealth. Here's your host, Dr. Jinpo Olo.
The other segment is the testing stage. Now, the testing stage has elements of testing your journey. Remember, we said that this is a journey. It's not something you do one time and that's it, and it's gone. It's a journey. We have the control test. Now, the control test is the bare minimum. Bare minimum meaning control test is you have up to 3 months of your living expenses completely saved up. And then your kids are going to nice schools. Of course, defining nice schools is very relative. And then you have a car, you have transportation. That is the bare minimum. In fact, if you do not have any goals set out, you would want to secure this bare minimum, which is the control test. Then we have the stability test, 3 to 6 months. A stability test, 3 to 6 months, mostly known as the emergency fund. Now, we are all able to test this testing stage. During the COVID season, we were able to understand whether we have passed this test of your testing stage. Now, the control test, when you got to 3 months, right now we're in 7 months. When you got to 3 months, were you surviving or you were thriving? Were you surviving or you were thriving? What would be your answer? In the stability test, that is 6 months, you're able to take care of your bare minimum necessities, which are your expenditure. Now, the security test is 6 to 12 months. And then you're able to take care of your necessities and a little bit of your, what we call the discretionary expenditure, a little bit of your luxuries. Then independency test, then the freedom test, and the abundance test. Now, this is the complete structure of building your wealth, which we have developed here at SEAL Uganda. Now, these components, once understood properly, you will be on your journey to success, to your financial freedom. Now, there's this story I love. This gentleman is a story I picked up that is written by Livingstone Mukasa. He's a financial investment advisor. And then he talks about cash flow poverty. He says, once upon I narrate it in an interesting way. There's this rich man on paper. Now, he owned 10 acres of land in Wakiso, Uganda, valued at about 600 million, which is an equivalent of about 160K. He owned 4 acres in Mutungo, valued at around 400 million, which is equivalent to 109K. Now, his net worth was about 1 billion. Now, that is a good balance sheet. 1 billion, which is equivalent to about 270 plus minus. Now, this looks good on paper. This gentleman had kids late, and his oldest child was about 20, and 9 children. Now, he struggles to feed these kids because he lost the job that actually gave him the money to buy that property. Now, Livingstone, being the advisor, advises him to sell off some of the property to create cash flow. Remember, I said cash flow is king. But this gentleman actually refused. He refused to sell off. Now, life became too tough. He got sick. He did not get proper treatment in time because he did not have cash flow. Now, this rich man, unfortunately, dies at 57. Now, when he dies, of course, we know what happens in Africa and more specifically in Uganda. When he dies, now family members begin fighting for the property that he dear had saved. Now, this gentleman, he died having cash flow poverty. How would you want to narrate your story? How would you want your story to be written? Cash flow is king. Remember, in that segment of building, cash flow is king. So we need to guard against expenses, which expenses is our biggest enemy. Okay. Now we get to the segment of building. Now, building, we said diligently investing in yourself, education and knowledge. Learning the basics of finance, understanding risks and reward, and applying applying investment appropriately and earning the best size returns. That is the building. And this evening we are talking about building and preserving. Now, my suggestion is to you, if you do not have any motto. Now, my suggestions are kind of influenced from the Christian perspective, which is my belief. Now, for me as a believer, the suggestion of your income spread would be, in case you have your income, would be 10% would be your tithe. 10% would be giving. Now, your tithe as a believer, this is God guarding your tithe, protecting your money. Because you would want a supernatural power to protect your money. Then giving would be probably 10%. Then 10% would be reserving. Your reserves, your 20% would be your investment. That is where you invest either in business or in any investment adventures that you want to put in. And 50% will be restricted to expenditure. Now, in the room or on the call, how many of us have an income spread and they stick to it? Remember, we said financial discipline, and they stick to it. Be your own judge. Because to get out of this poverty cycle, we need to have certain disciplines in our lives. And we need to do deliberate efforts to be able to go on our way, to go on our financial freedom journey.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode of BM Wealth Talks. This podcast is designed to challenge and provoke you to obtain, protect, build, and give your wealth. Remember to subscribe, leave us a comment, rate, review, and share. Let us know your favorite episode. For more resources, go to www.celiaganda.com and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. BM Wealth Talks to financial freedom.